2 weeks after a now fired Balch Springs police officer shot and killed a 15-year-old, the police chief is investigating who leaked video of another incident involving his officers. This body cam video is from April 28th of last year. It shows a white Balch Springs officer using a taser on a handcuffed black man. Now, the video was mailed to Fox 4 News after the shooting death of teenager Jordan Edwards, which is a separate and unrelated investigation. Today, the police chief talked to Fox 4's James Rose about what the video shows. James?
Well, the chief tells me he's concerned about the timing of the video leak and how it might affect the perception of his officers. To be clear, we received the video through the U.S. mail. We don't know the original source or where else it has been distributed. Those are the questions the chief wants to have answered as well. This body cam video starts with a Balch Springs officer responding to a 911 call about a man waving a gun in a neighborhood. As the officer arrives, you can see the suspect, 39-year-old Marco Stevenson, on his knees with his hands on his head. He appears to be complying with officers' commands. As they approach, a gun is kicked away. It's later determined to be a BB gun.
Better watch it, Marco.
I spit a toothpick in the grass.
As officers are removing Stevenson's backpack, he mentions spitting out a toothpick, and moments later, this happens.
Don't pull away. You understand? You understand? Don't pull away. You understand? Don't pull away. Don't pull away. You get it? Do you get it? Yes, sir. Are you going to straighten up? Yes, sir. Because I ain't playing with you today. Do you understand?
The sergeant using the taser is a supervisor. Chief Jonathan Haber says the sergeant's actions were questioned by his own officers.
We looked at it, and, at the end of the day, they did the right thing. They brought it to our attention.
Chief Haber says the video was reviewed by the Texas Rangers, Professional Standards, and the Dallas County DA's Public Integrity Unit.
We decided together that this was an administrative issue and not a criminal issue.
The chief says the sergeant was reprimanded and put on no contact with the public until he completed classes on conflict resolution, anti-bias, and how to respond to mental health calls.
Hey, let me take him so.
As for Stevenson, Haber says he was well known to authorities, with arrests for everything from criminal trespass to aggravated assault on a public servant, even one of his own officers.
It's been handled 37 times through Dallas County, 37 offenses. He's been arrested or booked into the Dallas County Jail 17 times. He's been booked in through our facility 19 times, and I think 33 separate offenses.
Reverend Ronald Wright has publicly supported the chief since the night Jordan Edwards was shot and killed. He was also involved in reviewing this case last year at the request of the chief.
There were some things that were done that that could have been kept quiet, but there were some officers that set an example of what all police departments should do.
Chief Haber says Stevenson never did file a complaint with the department.
We just hope people understand and realize that we're out here policing ourselves and making sure we're doing the right things.
Now, we were unable to reach Marco Stevenson for comment. While the DPS investigation found no fault with the officer's actions, it is possible the incident could become part of the broader investigation of Jordan Edwards' death. Now, the Justice Department has been asked to look for any possible evidence of civil rights violations involving that case. Typically, that includes a review of all kinds of police department records, including body cam videos.
Good cop leaks video of fellow cop torturing handcuffed man with a taser. Guess who's in trouble? Balch Springs, Texas. Coming just weeks after Balch Springs police officer Roy Oliver killed 15-year-old Jordan Edwards, was fired, and later arrested and charged with murder, another scandal has rocked the department. This time, it is torture with a taser. Body camera footage was mailed to Fox 4 News showing a black man being tossed while handcuffed. 39-year-old Marco Stevenson was compliant, not resisting at all, and in handcuffs when the torture began. The leaked body camera footage shows Stevenson with his hands raised above his head as officers approach. Balch Springs PD responded to a 911 call of a man brandishing a weapon. Stevenson admitted he had a BB gun but denied threatening anyone with it. According to our experts in gang activities, criminals use BB and pellet guns to keep enemies at bay who are unaware the toys are not real. Stevenson was handcuffed and told he was under arrest for threatening the community who'd called 911 to report him. He denied committing any crime but was, by all accounts, compliant with all officer commands. Image, http://pixel.watch/QT7. He spit his toothpick into the grass which seemed to have set off the cops. He got a little mouthy with one of the officers, inaudible, and was immediately tossed. Don't pull away. You understand? You understand, an unidentified sergeant on the video said as he was tossing Stevenson. Don't pull away. You get it? You get it? Because I ain't playing with you today. Do you understand? Yes sir, answered Stevenson as he again complied with officer commands. Yet the cop kept tasering him even after he fell to the ground. Read more. Right to discriminate helps gay rights by keeping government out. The incident apparently raised the eyebrows of fellow officers who promptly reported the incident to the sergeant's superiors. According to the chief of police for Balch Springs, the incident was reviewed by 3 different entities: Texas Rangers, Professional Standards, and the Dallas County DA's Public Integrity Unit. Chief Jonathan Haber said, "We decided together that this was an administrative issue, not a criminal issue. And since Stevenson didn't file a complaint, no charges were brought against the officer." While the department has a vocal supporter on their side, Reverend Ronald Wright, others apparently aren't happy with the conclusions reached in the internal investigation, and they are the ones who leaked the video to the press. Wright said, "There was some things that were done that could have been kept quiet. But there was some officers that set an example of what all police departments should do." Now the chief is looking to see who leaked the video, seemingly more concerned about the Balch Springs PD's image than with arresting another member of his police force. Haber described Stevenson's lengthy criminal record to reporters, citing the number of times he'd been arrested and processed in the jail system. But the video, coupled with the latest killing of an unarmed innocent child, leave more questions than answers. Why did the department choose to keep someone on its force who'd tossed a handcuffed compliant man? Why, after whistleblowers turned him in, was he not fired? And how and why did 3 law enforcement agencies arrive at the conclusion no crime had been committed? Read more. 100 years ago today, Otie Benga, a black man held in the Bronx Zoo as missing link, ended his life. It seems Haber is more interested in finding out who leaked the video to the press and firing that person than he is concerned with protecting the civil rights and liberties of Mr. Stevenson and others like him. According to Chief Haber, the sergeant in question was reprimanded and put on no contact with the public until he completed courses in conflict resolution, anti-bias, and how to respond to mental health calls. All in all, he got away with tossing a handcuffed man without losing 1 day's pay. Something has to change with modern policing methods when officers are not charged for doing things to handcuffed suspects that the public cannot do to each other. Many consider it to be an example of a double standard at work for law enforcement. What would have happened had the taser killed Stevenson? Remember Graham Dyer and Gregory Towns? They weren't as lucky as Stevenson.